Mongiello, and today I'm going to show, I have someone coming over, a neighbor, wants to know how to burn an image in the screen. This is his image, and he brought it over on a little drive, little thumb drive, and we printed it out. Now we printed it on vellum. Vellum is a special paper. It's like a foggy paper, but light will transfer through it. And so the black, wherever it's black, will block the light, and that's how emulsion, that's how you burn the screen. Now the one thing I recommend is you have a laser printer, and you get vellum. A laser printer uses a toner, and so what I'm going to use now is toner aid. And what this does, we're going to spray it. And now that black, you see, you can already start seeing it's much blacker, and we're going to let it dry. It smells like we just sprayed spray paint. So we're going to let that dry. It'll take about 10 minutes. But that's going to help burn the image better because the image is darker. Now if you use a clear transparency, and I'm going to show you what he brought. Do you have what you brought? Okay, what he brought was this. Printed out a clear transparency, and it looks black when you look at it, but here, I don't know if you can follow me to the window. When you put it up to the window, you see how that black is not so black? And so that means light's going to go through it, and you're going to have trouble burning your image. So be wary of this. Sometimes I tell people to run 2 of them and put them on top of each other. But really the vellum is the way to go with the laser printer. So in a laser printer these days, about $100, and it's really worth it. So anyway, so that's why we're using vellum. Okay, so let's go ahead and coat the screen. Now what I use is, it's from Saati America, Saati, S-A-A-T-I, and it's a textile PV series. Saati has places in California, New York, they have, I think even in South Carolina. So look them up, and you want to order the textile PV series of emulsion, and it is pink. And it's pre-mixed. So you're not fooling around with emulsion that is that you have to mix and everything like that. Okay, this is called a screen coater. You can get them bigger, you can get them 12, 13 inches, but you know what? You really waste a lot of emulsion. By the bigger the screen coater is. Okay, so you see how I'm tilting it? So I'm laying the emulsion on by tilting it. And at first I'm just trying to get some emulsion on there. Okay, now, notice, I'm leaning the screen this way. Now we're going to scrape all the excess off. So you want a thin coat. And you notice I'm not going all the way to the edge. Don't need to. coat of emulsion, right? And we're going to put it in a little, over here, behind the bar, we have a little area here. I can set the, I don't know if you can get in there. And I have a little fan that I got at the thrift store for $3.99. So that's going to speed up the drying. It should take like 30 minutes. So we're going to turn the camera off now and come back in 30 minutes. All right, real quick, while we're waiting for that to dry. The leftover emulsion's expensive. You want to put back in the container right away, all right? So, just use, I'm just using a spatula, but we ought to get as much of that out as possible. Okay, now I'm going to go rinse this out with warm water in the sink. Because you do not leave this in here to dry. You will never get it out. So, it's very clear. We're going to wash it really thoroughly and make sure this edge, the sharp edge, is nothing's left on it, because if that's bumpy, when you go to coat the next screen, it's going to be not do a good job. So clean this thoroughly with warm water immediately. That's what we're going to do now. Bye. So we're back from letting this dry, letting the emulsion dry the screen. And I want to make sure it is. It looks like it. All right, and I wanted to show I washed this out really well. So make sure you wash the screen coater right away. Save all the excess. Okay, now, here's our vellum. We're going to put it on reverse. And I'm going to say we're going to put it right there. Is that cool? Well, what you want to see, I want to tell you, if you do it real close here, remember how when I was pushing the ink up, if the ink doesn't have a place to go, you're in big trouble. So it's just to give it a little space. But again, whatever printer you're using, you should check it out. Make sure you're not off, way off. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to put a little tape on it so it doesn't move. Okay, so what we're going to do is take it over to here. Okay, this light exposure lamp. It's really easy to build, and I have a video on my website that shows you how to build it. But you can see it's 2x4s, a piece of press board that's painted black, and I actually got that at Home Depot. It was already black, so it must be black. You cannot have white under here, because the light goes through and reflects up, and it doesn't work. Okay, then you want a 1/4-inch piece of glass. And that you buy that at a commercial glass place, not Home Depot. You don't want thin stuff, you want it thick. But anyway, I show how to build that on my website. I give all the details I'm telling you about. So we're going to set our timer for 3 minutes. All right, we're going to turn the light on. Remember I put this on reverse. That's a 500-watt halogen light. We're going to do it for 3 minutes. I'm going to have you turn the camera off until it's close to the end, and we'll turn it back. All right, so we're almost at 3 minutes. Right here is, okay, that's 3 minutes, so we're going to turn this off. Okay, this is water. That's all it is. So now what we're going to do, remove the glass, remove the artwork, spray both sides with water here. I'm going to kind of get it out of the light here. Okay, now sometimes you can kind of see the image, but I've had people call me and go, I don't see the image. You're not necessarily going to see it. So now we're going to let it wait for 5 minutes. So you can turn the camera off for 5. All right, so it's 15 more seconds for 5 minutes. And what I like to do is just spray it one more time before we go out. So the next thing I want to tell you about washing out a screen. Okay, so that was 5 minutes. Okay, the reason you want to get it wet immediately after you burn it is that will prevent, like let's say you accidentally go outside or hit the sunlight, it'll protect it for a little bit. So you notice I'm doing it in a lighted room, the light's coming in the windows, but that will not affect it. But if I were to walk out in the sunlight, it would expose this in seconds, okay? So you do not want to go from indoors, walk through the sunlight to a shaded tree area and wash it out. You want to go, if you do that, cover it with black towels and do that. If you have to go from one area through the UV, it's the UV rays of the light. So we're going to go outside, but it's shaded right where I am. So you may think I'm walking into the sunlight, but I'm not. I'm just right here. This is shaded. Okay, there's a little bit more there. I'm going to spray it, but basically you see how clean that is. Now, that happened right away. I get a lot of calls where people are washing it out for, I've been doing it for an hour and it still hasn't come out. Well, those are other problems. If it doesn't wash out like this, there's other problems prior to that. It should wash out instantly. So let's just clean that up. All right, so you only want to look and make sure the image is clear. And it seems to be all right. So now we can put it in the sunlight. And it'll dry real fast, real nice. And so this is why I like this emulsion and the procedure I just did. If you do it exactly the way I just did it, it will wash out right away every time. Every time somebody comes over, I do this. It's very simple. But you run into complications. And some of them, I mean, the way to do the vellum and spray that image toner, in-hand toner aid on it is very vital. If you're not blocking the light, which is probably the #1 problem, it's not going to wash out this quick. So anyway, there you go. End of thing. We're going to put it out in the sun, and about a half hour from now it'll be ready to use. I'm going to put tape around it and ready to print. All right, thanks for joining me on YouTube. We'll see you another day.